So you have to promise not to laugh, mainly because I'm not good on camera. But hey, Karen, it is Jay Obertans here at Rorick Mazda. So I just wanted to thank you again for your time over the weekend and kind of looking at both the CX-30 Carbon as well as the Mazda 3 Carbon. I know that the red leather seats was something that you appreciated, and I think this might be a departure from your Mini Countryman. But I figured one thing that might be beneficial is to make you a video, so that way you could kind of see both vehicles, see the similarities, and then kind of maybe determine in terms of a need-wise which one might work a little bit better. I will say, coming out of the Countryman, the CX-30 might overall just be a better option because these two vehicles, even though that is considered a hatch and this is considered an SUV, are priced within about $600 of each other once you're in the all-wheel drive configuration, because I do recall you mentioning all-wheel drive was important, mainly because that was a incorrect listing that we had reached out to Mazda. Now, all carbon trim levels are going to be this polymetal gray. I will say it's a really awesome color because it's kind of gray, kind of blue, and it changes so dramatically based on the light that it's at. Now, the wheel wise are all going to be blacked out. Same thing, you'll notice that your mirror caps are blacked out, especially with the CX-30. You have a little bit of sort of the satin side roof rail. You'll notice that you have the black spoiler going to the rear, and of course, your dual exhaust pipes. Obviously, you'll see the AWD badge. Everything is LED lights. You'll kind of see that cool little halo for the taillights. And now, something to bear in mind for safety-wise, I'll even point it out on the carbon hatch here, is you will notice that these emblems are fake, and that's because all of the sonar lays behind there. So all of these vehicles have adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, cyclist, pedestrian, and collision avoidance. Even those LED headlights can use the high and low beams automatically. You might see a little bit of kind of a triangle right here that will light up in both vehicles for the blind spot monitoring system. And then you'll see another camera up on top of each windshield, kind of demonstrating the further collision avoidance. If the vehicle senses a crash, it will automatically yell and then stop the vehicle. And of course, things like backup camera and amenities that you would expect, like the sunroof. In terms of heated leather seats, both of these vehicles will have memory seats, so if there's another driver in the household, remote start, you can even use your phone to remote start or lock or unlock the vehicle. And you'll kind of see with a little bit more light here, I pick up a little bit more blue than kind of the hood, which looks a little bit more gray. Now, this is a reason why a lot of people head to the Carbon, is because I will say these seats are awesome. They're not sort of like a fire engine red as like the online will kind of lead them to look. They're actually more of kind of like a blood red, if you would. So a little bit darker, and I think it just looks really nice as opposed to something like circuit red. And you'll see that you have some accented stitching along here. Now, Mazdas are all going to follow a very BMW theme, and this might actually be good for you coming out of a Mini because its parent company is BMW. So I believe your speedometer is probably in the center of the dash, though that's not the case in this. You do have your screen in the center of the dash, and depending on if you have the Mini Connect system, you are going to have a centered dial behind the gear shifter where you do a lot of features on that screen. So if that is a feature you have in your current Mini, luckily that will feel right at home. And of course, things like split climate, you'll see those are going to be the buttons for the memory seats, and of course everything is going to be full leather. The ironic part, the only difference in terms of features that you get on the Mazda 3 hatchback that you would not get on the CX-30, and it's not a significant difference in my opinion, the CX-30 is going to have an audio system produced by Pioneer, is who manufactures our speakers. The Mazda 3 gets the upgrade to the 3D Bose audio. I don't typically find a difference, and I would consider myself somewhat of an audiophile. I think the Pioneer system is every bit as competent, though I will say at much, much higher volumes, the Bose doesn't tend to kind of crack out as just sort of Pioneer system does. So I guess that would be a little bit of a credit to Bose if you're really blasting music above like volume 35. Now, of course, this is going to have a little bit more cargo capacity, just overall being a little bit taller and sitting up off the road, kind of what you might be used to in a Mini Countryman as opposed to just a regular Mini Cooper. But hopefully this video helps and kind of go over these vehicles a little bit more in depth and actually show you the look and design wise. Obviously, coming out to check them out and drive it is going to be one thing to ensure that you actually like these vehicles. So if there is a day or time that you would like to stop by and check them out, just let me know what works best. But I really appreciate the opportunity, Karen, and hope you're off to a great start this morning.